Hello, my friends. Jacob is here once again. Thanks for pressing play and for bearing with me today. I know that the world has gotten very, very stressful. I've been saying for many years to buckle up, right? I got a lot of other channels saying buckle up, doing that too. That's okay. It was long before me. It'll be long after me as well. Everybody's going to have to buckle up. For safety reasons, with the world the way it is today. A lot of pressure, a lot of stress. Been saying on the channel for many years that it was going to get claustrophobic. It was going to feel like a python. Slowly but surely they were going to be squeezing your life away and your freedoms and your liberties away. It was going to feel that way. But that wasn't necessarily the truth. Because even a man in prison can be free in his heart and his mind. Not saying that we're in prison, but I am saying we're going to be set free. This is what's happening. This is something that's been set in motion, and that God can't fail. There's really good news to share for those that are seeking the truth no matter what the cost, for those that are loving, forgiving, for seeking, for praying, those that want to live for more than what this ghoulish world offers. I gotta be honest. I get a little. I feel the pressure. I feel the pressure. It's weighing on me as well. All the things going on. So many things, right? Do I even have to list them? So many things. You feel like you have no say. You feel like you have no power. You feel like you got no control. But that's okay because God's given us clue after clue after clue after hint. He's speaking loud and clear. He's saying, I exist. I alone can save you. Not some goofy statue that's in Rio. I tried to do a 1 minute short. Didn't work out. I shared it on the old Twitter, which, by the way, before I go any further, I'm now on Telegram. Everybody told me to get on it. I've been looking for some kind of a messaging app where I can just, in one fell swoop, tell everybody that the show's coming so you get notified. If you're watching this video, please go to the link below. Sign up for Telegram. It's Jacob Israel YouTube. I don't know how to work it yet. I'm a little late to the game on everything, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. I'm going to find a way to, but I'm going to make sure, like today, I let a lot of you know that the show was going live when it was. So you got the heads up, and I also I share other things too. So Telegram, it's free. It's a messaging app. It's very cool. I guess it's private. I don't know. They're not paying me to say this, but I'm finally there. So will you join me so that we can keep in touch? Because things are getting a little spooky. Right? But God alone saves, not some goofy statue. So I shared this thumbnail on Twitter. Take a look. Yeah, because they shot that picture up there. And you know what? I let my alter ego handle this one. Just take a look. Look at all that mulch, huh? You know what it smells like? Smells like cow poop. You know what else smells like cow poop? What's going on in Brazil? It's called idolatry on top of idolatry on top of idolatry. Take a look at what they put on that statue. Christ the Redeemer. You're not supposed to compare God to anything in the earth, beneath the earth, in the sea, nothing. You're not supposed to compare God with nothing. But they got that big statue out there, Ave Maria. That statue ain't gonna save. What that word means, that word they got up there, it comes from Latin for cow. They were worshiping a cow back in the day. They're still doing it today. How about them apples? Bada bing, bada boom. Can you believe it? It's come to that. Hey, can you believe that that word means cow too? Vaca, from Latin, cow. It's interesting. It's interesting. You know, the first Air Force One, but it was like it was called the Sacred Cow. I think that's that was the name of the first something like that. Interesting. Baal worship right in the land. My last couple of videos on Elijah. Interesting. It's all interesting. You got a president who doesn't mention God. You got stuff like this being broadcast all over and you know what God's doing in response? He's collapsing like historic landmarks. The Darwin Arch. Yeah, the Darwin Arch. This one. Collapsed. Gone. No longer an arch. Just got like two little rock formations, look like duality, the duality of man. But that name Darwin, we know, synonymous with, follow meathead beliefs. I'm like a little bit of a zombie, right? And zombies you're going to find out zombies are all over the place today, all over the news. The guy, they teach this nonsense in school. It's nonsense. We evolved because he did a couple of experiments with pigeons. Now we know that we didn't. All right, they've done records and they've seen that animals, seems like all the animals appeared almost on the same time frame. We evolved. Yeah, we evolved. That's why there's still monkeys and there's us, right? Okay, because they didn't evolve. Okay. Darwin Arch gone. Yeah, these people, right? These people that are big fans of this nonsense. Like, what's that guy's name? Big-time atheist, best-selling author, this meathead. I'm not a big fan, I gotta be honest, but he was on some podcast and he was saying that it would be better to get rid of children when you know that they are, when they have Down syndrome, because it would make the world a better place. This guy, that's monstrous thinking, right? I posted something on Twitter, it blew my mind, but here's another one. Big fan of Darwin, right? Darwin Arch collapses. And what do you get when you don't have faith in more? What do you get when you think that's it? There's no point to life. It's just you. You just kind of evolve from random nothingness. Nothing. Nothing comes from nothing. But they're going to teach you this in school. Okay. Day we're in, God's declaring himself. Darwin Arch collapsed. Now what I'm noticing, which is it's quite concerning. There's a lot of zombie stuff. You know about the cicadas, right? Every 17 years. I did a show on this last year. Seems like a lot of the shows that I've done are now coming back. They're recirculating. Well, turns out these cicadas, which is like a beautiful picture of resurrection, right? They're like buried and then they come out and they have these wonderful shields and they reflect light and they make this beautiful noise. And turns out a lot of them are zombies. They're like half dead. They have this fungus. Remember I said fungus is among us? They got a lot of fungus everywhere. Medina, the Kentucky Derby winner. That the holy city had to deal with the fungus. Fungus is pretty much everywhere. Right now in India, they're having a big issue with this horrible black fungus. It's like everywhere. Okay, well, what is it? You know what? I had fungus. I had stuff all over my garage door. I did some landscaping yesterday. That's a good way, by the way. If you get a little overwhelmed, do some yard work. I went out and I trimmed I have this big bush. It was just getting overgrown. And I trimmed it. And I trimmed it into a heart. Yeah, I did. It took me forever. And then when I was power washed and I power washed a little bit of the garage, I thought the garage was black. Turns out it was just covered in this black like mold thing. Now my garage looks beautiful. It's like redwood. Crazy. fungus among us, right? So there's this fungus that's killing these, eating the cicadas alive. And they're all bombed on like psilocybin. It's like this fungus that gets you high. Something kooky, right? But it's literally rotting their abdomens away. It's like literally killing them, right? And then they're going around, they're mating. And the irony is these zombies, they're making the sounds of the male and the female. They're just going buck wild and they're spreading this fungus to everybody else. That's very prophetic. Zombie cicadas, right? But not just them. Zombies are all the rage. Zack Snyder coming out with Army of the Dead. It's going to be on Netflix, probably, Friday, today, if I release it today. I don't know. It's on Netflix if it's after Friday. Army of the Dead about zombies, right? But that's not it. I'm researching zombies, which is so goofy, right? It's goofy because the CDC, which we're supposed to take very seriously, they issued like zombie guidelines, how to survive a zombie apocalypse. I told Danielle about this and she said I was goofy. She goes, no, that's not true. And I showed it to her. She's like, well, why would they do that? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe zombies are coming. The aliens, right? We got that. We got the virus of the crown. We got that. We got the meteors and the asteroid warnings. We got that. Why not the zombies, right? It was in a Nike commercial. I think it was last year or the year before. Big one where everybody's, the world's going to pot. Everybody's running around crazy. You got zombies on the loose. You got aliens teleporting people away. And they're just like, hey, we're just getting the shoe. It's the best week ever. How I say that we're in the best movie ever, which is our life. But at times it gets a little scary, doesn't it? Yeah, a little bit. So the CDC issues zombie guidelines, right? And guess what? My old boss, Vince McMahon, WrestleMania Backlash, when all this is going on, he decides, hey, why not throw zombies into a wrestling ring? It's entertainment, sports entertainment. It's plausible, right? They'll have a lumberjack match where zombies are there. The Miz was wrestling a guy named The Priest. I don't watch the product anymore because it's just not interesting to me. But this headline I couldn't miss because I'm doing a show on zombies, and then boom, there it is. Of course, why not? I guess The Miz even tore his ACL. Brilliant idea. Whoever's booking that. I'd like to point out when I was there, they had the highest ratings ever. And I'd like to point out that when I left, they lost more than half their audience, like almost immediately. I mean, that's just historical fact. I wonder why that is. Maybe God's real, right? Maybe he blesses those that serve him. Scriptures say, I will bless those that bless you and curse those that curse you. That's why it's so important to let God's vengeance be the thing that orchestrates judgment in the earth and not you. Don't use your hands to execute judgment on anyone. Forgive. Follow the lesson that was presented to you by Christ. Forgive. Love. Someone comes for your coat, give them something else. Give them your scarf. Someone slaps you on the face, say, you know what? Here you go. Give me the other one. I know that doesn't sound like great wisdom, but it is. I've learned over the years that whenever I tried to fight my own battles, and Jacob's known for wrestling, he wrestles till the very end. He doesn't want to give up. That's the problem. That's why I suffer too much. That's why this time of Jacob's trouble is actually troubling me a little bit. But don't worry. God's got me. God's got you. We're going to be okay. We're going to come out of this better than ever before. I promise you. Even if today's news is that there's zombie fires all over the world. Yes, there are these fires that they go out, but then they smolder. They smolder under the snow. The winter came and the fires, and then when the winter goes away, the fires reignite to bring this world to its knees. That's the news. Zombie fires. It's interesting. On the last program, I talked about how when Jesus healed the man that was blind, he says, I see men as trees, and I explained the significance between trees and us. It's a great allegory of us. Our brains are very much, we have these synapses that are called dendrites, which is how we process information. And they're branches, like branches of thought. Jesus said, every branch that's not rooted in me, so every thought that's not rooted in the truth is cut up, cast into the fire. And what are the fire? We're in the fires. Hard times, right? But fire's good because it burns all the bad stuff away. So, we're tested and we're tried. The scriptures say that God chose the furnace of affliction. I would have rather had like milkshakes and Oreo cookies, but it's not good for you. So furnace of affliction it is for us. But in the end, just like the suffering of the oyster, you get the pearl. Just like the smashing and the scraping and the squeezing of the grape, you get the wine. Everything is worth it in the end. This is an experience that we must embrace, and we must run this race with patience, long-suffering, endurance, compassion. As hard as that seems today, as hard as easy as it is for you to be like tell the people at work, oh my God, you're all so corrupt. Don't do it, because they know not what they do. They're like zombies. That's why zombies are everywhere. Even zombie trees, like these half-dead trees called zombies trees, and they're dangerous. Don't forget, I talked about the zombie mink. I did a show about that where I had that dream where I asked Trump what his spirit animal was, and he was like, it's a mink. And then I looked it up, and they were talking about these zombie minks, that basically the virus of the crown, it mutates in them, and nothing can stop it from entering something. It's supposed to be really bad, so they culled like millions and millions and millions of these things, and then they buried them, but they buried them. All these mink, they buried them next to like streams and drinking water and everything, so they had to be exhumed. They were just exhumed. The reason why they're called zombie mink is because they were bubbling up to the ground, all the gases and everything else, and they were coming, and they were basically, it looked like they were crawling out of the grave. It's a scary, scary, scary thing. Zombies, right? Half dead, half alive, twice dead, the scriptures say about the Pharisees. Zombies, they don't think. They don't use their brains. They just follow the herd, and they consume everything before them. They don't even care. Zombies. It's no wonder it's all over the news today, because that's all I hear on the radio. I nonstop zombie advertisement telling people how to think, how to behave. And I'm listening to it and I'm going, but this doesn't make any sense. None of this makes sense. Is anybody paying it? I'm like, is this thing on? I drove my daughter to school this morning. Of course, what happens? I brought something up and she said exactly what she heard. And I go, wait a minute. What about A, B, and C? And she's like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Because unless you're thinking, you're a zombie. And that's what they want. Not that I'm into Nostradamus, I'm not, but it was in the news today. Nostradamus predicts zombies. Listen to this. One of his terrifying prophecies for 2021. Whatever, if it's true, I don't know. I didn't do enough research on this, but just this morning before I came in here, I looked up zombies, and then boom, there's another one. The 16th century astrologer hinted that Russian scientists would create a biological weapon that will create a virus which turns people into zombies. Fathers and mothers dead of infinite sorrows, women in mourning, the pestilent she-monster, the great one to be no more, all the world to end. It gets Nostradamus. I'm not going to put my faith in Nostradamus, but there's a lot of weird stuff going on 2021. So here's the thing, people. Is the world coming to an end? Well, the world the way it was, yes. And it's going to be, it's a big upheaval. So there's a great reset. Spooky stuff. But in the end, God's kingdom is established. Now, what's ironic about all this is that my novel's finally being re-released. It's the second edition, which was, I think in 2016. The publisher went with it, but then they turned out to, they got arrested and jailed for fraud and embezzlement and all that crazy stuff. And I got the rights back. So there were only a couple of copies that were actually out there sold. That's why I'm telling people May 23rd. That's the day, please. On Pentecost, I'd like everybody to hit Amazon on that day, because what it'll do is it'll trick the algorithm, not trick the algorithm, it'll tell the algorithm that this should be recommended to other people. Then there's a great possibility that it becomes a bestseller. It becomes a bestseller, then all of us here, this becomes a bigger movement, something much greater. This is the reason why I wrote this. Started this in college. My dream was that one day this book would become a bestseller. Now, ironically, here's the crazy part, is that this is 2022 is in this novel. The lead character is 50 when the world goes bonkers. This guy wrote it. There's a chapter, a nightmare, that the lead character has. I'm not going to give away too much, but I'm going to read a little bit to you. A nightmare that he has that takes place 2022, right? Which is weird because we're in 2021, so how cool would it be? This all happens and this becomes like almost a proof of sorts, because I may or may not have hidden a bunch of stuff in the actual story to show people that God has a plan, God has a purpose, and that his word will not return void. So this is a nightmare that the lead character has since he was a little kid. Just going to read a little bit of it. You know, get a copy, May 23rd if you want. Amazon, by the way. Oh, and don't buy, like I said, there are other copies out there that people are selling for like $800, $300. That's not me, okay? Even if you get it for $20, it's not me. I'm selling it for $11.11. It'll be available May 23rd, Amazon, and everywhere else books are sold. But please go to Amazon. That's kind of the place, because that'll help to get more people to see it. Burn, 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 the people shout, as another layer of ash blankets the ground. The light from the enormous inferno splashes an eerie shade of red on the crowd's anxious faces. I watch in agony as they throw page after page of my book into this mountain of flames. The air fills with the bitter smell of smoke. My eyes water. My throat swells. I stand here helpless for all to see. I am beaten. I'm confused. My name is Thomas James, and I'm doomed to die by the hands of hate because I wrote words inspired by love. Death to Thomas! Death to Thomas! The angry mob shouts as I quietly weep. They gather to watch the silencing of a voice that said a new day was about to arise. I cry not for my life. I know I will lose it. Instead, I cry for those who are lost to a great darkness covering the land. A wicked spirit spreads its wings, and mankind has become vicious, filled with lust and pride, committing unspeakable acts against others as well as themselves. This is why I'm here. I was told to pick up my cross as the one before me. By my death, people will hear the words of my book. By my blood, they will finally understand the mystery of our existence. The book of Thomas James, my book, which they burn before me, is not a work of fiction, as some will say. It's a fiery truth cast into the sea of deception mankind calls life. Now that's just part of a dream that he had. But it's a cool story nonetheless. So it doesn't matter if the zombie's freaking you out. It doesn't matter if everybody seems like a zombie around you. You can become inoculated against the zombies by simply asking for the truth, no matter what the cost. Asking for the Lord to pour out a spirit, to teach you the truth, to guide you, to lead you, to give yourself to God, the creator of all, the mighty one of Jacob, the God of Jacob, if you will, my God, the only one that exists. There's only one God, one Spirit, one Lord, one baptism, one body, who we all are. This is the day. This is the day of the Lord. It's upon us. So embrace it. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, for sharing it around. If you're new to the channel, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. You can click for notifications, select all. Go to Telegram, though. It's probably the best way to get notified when I have a show coming out. And have the best day ever. Don't let this stuff stress you out, get you bummed out. Go outside and do some yard work. Yeah. You'll like it. You'll like what's hidden underneath all the mess. Might be a beautiful heart. It may be a beautiful garage. I don't know. You tell me. But sometimes you got to cut away at the stuff that's blocking you. You got to get rid of the stuff that's hurting you so that you can see the beauty that's beneath. I think that's what the famous sculptor, when he did David, I believe it was Michelangelo, he saw David in the stone. He just had to release it. I hope God releases all of us, all of the Davids out there, all the Joshuas out there, all the Moseses, all the Elijahs, all the Ruths, all the Deborahs, Release us, Lord. Chip away the stone. I'm sure it hurts the rock, but in the end, David standing pretty tall. I love each and every one of you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching Jacob Israel. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and share this channel around. If these shows have helped you, help Jacob to reach more any way you can, and have the best day ever.
Click it.